Hello, and welcome to your OSL640 Week 9 Lesson 2 video. So you should have already watched Lesson 1. If you haven't, go back and do that. We looked at kind of intro-level simple regular expressions, and now we're going to look at some more advanced regular expressions and also some commands that use regular expressions because they're extremely powerful things, and you can use them with a variety of commands within Linux. So we're going to look at their use, their purpose. I'll give you a demo. We're going to look at using them with man, more, less, vi. We're not going to look at sed and awk yet, but they do use regular expressions. All of this will, of course, map to your Week 9 Investigation 2, or Week 9 tutorial, sorry, Investigation 2, and your review questions on extended regular expressions, Parts A and B. And ignore this bit about assignment 2. I missed it in my edits again. It happens. This does not apply to us, so ignore it completely. That's a holdover from ULI 101. So with extended regular expressions, remember in our last example that we looked at with simple regular expressions, right? We had 5 0 to 9s at the end of the line. And that gets a little repetitive to write out, doesn't it? Wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to simplify that? Well, there is, with extended regular expressions. So we can use, with the parentheses, we can do a repetition of a pattern, either a single number of times or give it a range of a minimum and a maximum number of times. We can use question mark, we can use plus, we can group expressions, so we can take two expressions and group them together, and we can even use an or condition, so we can match something to one or another expression within a particular range within a line, which is kind of cool. And we'll look at, of course, as always, we'll look at all of these in further detail. So if you're going to use a range of repetition with a minimum and maximum, you can do this within your curly braces. So an example here, a 2, 5 within our curly braces here gives us 2 to 5 occurrences of the letter A. So 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times inclusively. 0 to 9 with curly braces 1, comma would be 1 or more occurrences of a 0 to 9. And there's a shortcut we can use for this, and that's a plus. Unlike asterisk, which means 0 or more occurrences of the previous character, a plus means 1 or more occurrences of the previous character, which in this case is 0 to 9. If you want 0 or 1 occurrences of a number, you could do A to Z, right? Curly braces 0, 1. And a shortcut for this is question mark, which means 0 or 1 occurrences of the preceding character. Now to use extended regular expressions, you can't use them without grep, or with grep. Grep does not support them. So we have to use extended grep, which you can invoke using grep-uppercase E, or just egrep. And there's no correct way to do this. Whatever way works best for you, whichever one you remember better, when you're using an extended regular expression, you can use either egrep or grep-uppercase E. And that works on should work on all tutorials, definitely all quizzes and tests. I'll take either answer. So for examples, we'll look at some examples. We've got a file here called data.txt, and in it we've got some numbers. So we could do egrep. Within our double quotes here, we've got beginning with a 0 to 9, 1 or more times, $, so end of line, in data.txt, and that's going to match a number, a line comprised entirely of numbers, one or more times. So that's going to give us just this 1, 2, 3 here, which would give us a whole number, right? With our output here. So whole numbers only, a whole unsigned number, if you will. Our second one here, we're looking at signed numbers. So we've got a character class beginning with plus or a minus, 0 or 1 times, followed by a 0 to 9, 1 or more times, followed by the end of the line. So that's going to give us 1, 2, 3. It's also going to give us this plus 45. So signed or unsigned, whole numbers only. Our third expression here, so beginning with a 0 to 9, 1 or more times, followed by, we want an actual dot here, so we could, one easy way to do that would be to put it in square brackets like this, 0 or 1 times, followed by a 0 to 9, 0 or more times, followed by the end of the line. And that's going to give us whole unsigned numbers and decimal unsigned numbers. Again, don't panic if you don't quite understand. If you have questions, of course, bring them to the lab and we will answer them there. But you're going to practice and play around with these. So another handy thing you can do with extended regular expressions is you can group, for repetition purposes, a group of characters or a word or a phrase. So if you want to do this, you could encapsulate it in brackets and then use your repetition. So here we've got the phrase "the" with a space, and that's why we had to use the brackets here, or lazy fox with a space in between lazy and a space after fox. This one's 2 or more times, and this one's 2 to 3 times. You could look for an or condition, so we use a pipe for this, meaning one or the other. And again, this is an extended regular expression, so you have to use extended, egrep, or grep dash uppercase E. So this or that, 1 or more times, will give you lines that contain this or that, 1 or more times. A or B or C, 3 or more times, would give us any repetition of the letter A, B, or C, 3 or more times. Should be fairly straightforward. Let's have a look at some demos for that, shall we? So back over to Matrix. I've got my cars.txt file here. Clear my screen. So I'm going to use the first one. I'm going to use grep-e. The second one I'm going to use egrep. We're going to do the same expression here, just to show you it works both ways. So grep-uppercase E. We're going to be looking for lines ending in 5 digits in our cars.txt file. So 0 to 9, and we just did this one in our last demo a little bit ago. But it was a lot drawn out, right? We had 0 to 9, this range here, 5 times. Well, we can just simply do this. Curly brackets 5, $, because we want it at the end of the line, cars.txt, and there we go. We get, because it highlights it in red, it's really handy, we get lines ending in 5 digits. Also, we can do that with egrep, right? So egrep, 0 to 9, curly brace 5, $, in cars.txt. So we get the same thing either way. Also, we could do, whoops, let me clear my screen. There we go. We could do the same thing 4, comma 5 should give us digits that are lines that end in 4 or 5 digits, but not 3. So that's just another slightly more advanced implementation of what we did, and it's could be useful, right? Kind of interesting, could be useful. Now what if we want beginning with, whoops, what am I doing? egrep. That's not actually what I was looking for. I was starting to wonder what I was doing because I had this example written out. So let's do... Let's just scrap that one entirely. I think that one's useless. I'm not sure what I was going for there, but it did not work. Either way, you've got a couple different examples of using extended regular expressions. And of course, for more practice, well, we've got things to practice to do that, right? So there's some other commands, of course, that use extended regular expressions outside of egrep. And these are, and regular expressions too. These are man, more, less, even in vi. And sed and awk, which we're going to look at in a future lesson, I think next week if I remember. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I'd have to look at the weekly breakdown. So we're going to look at some examples of those. With man, more, and less, you can search for a pattern using a /. So for example, if we're in the ls man page and you want to search for a particular string, in this example it's classify, just type a / the word you want to search for and hit enter, and it will search for it within the document. It also works with the commands more and less, which could be useful. I think it's pretty useful anyway. And while we're looking at vi, you can use regular expressions to regular expressions. I don't think I said that right the first time. You can use them to search and replace as well as search. So you can use it to, just like we did or will have done with the man command, to search for stuff on its own, or if you want to substitute. You can search and replace, and this would search and replace a lowercase OSL640 with an uppercase OSL640 globally, so everywhere in the file. And note, yes, the sample here is ULI 101. I think it's fine, that's why I left it in. And of course, they also work with awk and sed. You're going to learn about those in a later lesson. So let's have a quick look at these, and then finish up your demo. So we're going to go into the ls man page. We're going to search for classify, just like we did talked about in the slides, right? And there we go. It highlighted what we're looking for. So this is particularly useful if you're looking for, say an option, but you don't remember where it is, right? And that wasn't a good one, it looks like, because it came up a whole bunch of times. It could be useful. And to get out of that, of course, we just type the letter Q. I'm going to look at cars.txt in vi. And I don't know why those are highlighted, other than I was messing around in here already. So we're going to, as you can probably guess there, we're going to substitute. Whoops. So we go into command mode, %forward with, %s, sorry, Ford with an uppercase Ford, F-O-R-D, globally. Whoops. What did I do wrong? %S Ford, Ford, globally. There we go. It substituted at that time. I think because I did this before and then I quit and it did some, I don't know, some weird stuff. We could of course invert that, right? We could do all kinds of funky stuff here. I think you kind of get the idea. You can substitute any pattern with any other pattern, and you can even use regular expressions with this. So you could search for lines that begin or end with an uppercase C and do something on those, right? I'm just going to get out of here. Simple demos. That's what we were going for. And that's what we got. So of course, you can get some more practice with all of these in your Week 9 tutorial, Investigations 2 and 3, where you'll look at extended regular expressions from the command line, and then other commands that use them as well, and play around with those. And there's some practice questions there that should prepare you for the quiz that's coming up based on this content. And with all that, well, I will see you in this week's lab. Good luck on, hopefully you're working on your assignments. Sorry, projects, not assignments. I called it a project. If you haven't started on that, you should. Go check out the video that I posted about that back in week 7. Take care, be safe, and I will see you all in this week's lab. Bye for now.